Sorry for the wait. What it do with the folk? Hey! Man it again, y'all. Hey! Hey! Let's get it! Let's get it! About that business! Hey! We gotta put some respect on certain fighters' names out here, you know what I'm talking about? Talking about the same old. Getting on that same old bullshit, you know what I'm talking about? So we're gonna talk about some real shit tonight, dog. You feel me? Let's go! Yeah. Oh! What up, Cheers Smoke? Bill! Queen, listen, bells! Hey! Yo, what it do with the business is, man? You already know who it is, man. It's your boy, DT3, the Boom Beezy. Back at you again with another live stream, Boxing Talk Podcast. Boxing Talk 184. Joshua Buatsi, Josh Taylor. Underrated. Nobody wants to talk about him. Nobody wants to hear about him. Everybody act like they don't give a shit about him. Yet and still, they the ones out here doing shit. They the ones out here making some noise. Making their way out here. They the ones. Yet and still, don't nobody want to talk about them. Nobody want to talk about the ones that's out here actually out here fighting and doing it the hard way or did it the hard way. Nobody want to talk about them. They not nobody. They ain't got no fans. They ain't selling out no seats. It's all these bullshit ass excuses. It's the fight game, y'all. It's the fight game. That's what we want to see. We want to see fights. Y'all full with the bullshit now. Now all y'all want to see is the entertainment factor. Y'all entertained by the interviews and Instagrams and Twitters and shit. I'm sitting here watching this bullshit, sitting here on my phone looking at all this bullshit. That's what everybody want to talk about. Everybody still want to talk about Tank Davis. Everybody still want to talk about Errol Spence. Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury. Everybody still want to talk about them. They not fighting nobody. They not doing shit. What the fuck they doing? Running their goddamn mouth. Like some bitches. And everybody out here talking about it like it's the motherfucking news. Tuning in like it's 6 o'clock. CNN, Fox News. These fighters ain't doing nothing. Y'all want to hear about what these dudes is gossiping about. They ain't doing nothing. Talking about when they gonna fight. Talking about how this person is a bum and this person is that and all that. And y'all punk ass fans just following that shit like it's the motherfucking gospel out here. But that's real talk to y'all. That's the real shit y'all want to hear. Well, I'm not finna tell you the shit you want to hear up over here, son. So, this ain't for you. If you want to hear some bullshit, this ain't gonna be for you, son. Fuck Wilder, fuck Fury, shit, fuck Crawford, fuck Spence, fuck Keith Thurman, fuck Tank Davis, fuck all these niggas. What are they doing? What all these dudes is trying to do is wow you with some glitter and glam and bullshit. That's it. That's it. Glitz and glam and bullshit. That's it. Don't gotta fight nobody. Mario Barrios is the dog, but Josh Taylor don't sell. But Mario Barrios is the dog. But Mario Barrios couldn't do shit for nothing with Josh Taylor. But you gonna sell Mario Barrios as if he's better or on par than Josh Taylor? I mess with Crawford too. But everybody, you know what? This narrative about Crawford ain't fought nobody at welterweight, stop saying it. Everybody, all you niggas on this YouTube shit, stop it. Stop that shit. Every last one of you motherfuckers, from the D-Jeffs to who else be saying that shit? Who else be saying? There's a couple of you niggas that be saying that shit. Cut that shit out. Because you don't have that same energy for everybody. Cut it out. He's the WBO welterweight champion of the world. He is the champ. You have to respect his game. He the champ. You don't tell the champ what to do. I'm the champ. I don't give a fuck if you respect my belt or not. I'm still the champ. Fuck you mean? All the bullshit he had to go through, and then now you motherfuckers want to sit up here and say some cap on Terence Crawford? You cap. Anybody that say some cap shit on Terence Crawford, you fake, you bogus. Your whole channel is cap. All of it. It's film on the bullshit that was put on Crawford, and you niggas still cap. And y'all getting paid to cap. Paid to bullshit the public. And then y'all got the nerve, the gall, the blasphemous, the bigotry to big up a motherfucker like Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. What in the fuck? What is this about? How? And I bet you, Queen Lisa, I promise you, I would not be surprised if it do. I wouldn't be surprised if they take Porter from that and use him for a rematch with Usyk, or they do some old fuck shit. I would not be surprised. What's good, that guy? What it do with the folk? Spence and Usyk is probably the only fight that might happen, but then again, I don't think Spence is gonna do much. I don't think Spence is gonna. I don't really want Spence to fight for real. He don't look the same. If he looked the same, then yeah, but he don't look the same. And I want to see the old Spence that I would be used to, or that the fans are used to. But I'm tired of the cap. I'm tired of it. It's bullshit. It's bogus. Let's just give that fight some validity. Let's just give the Crawford Porter fight some validity, some smoke. That shit really about to happen. We finna see that shit and go down. And let Crawford just so happen, of all people, to stop Sean Porter. Let that shit happen. What's up, Ryan? What do you do with the phone? Let that shit happen. Oh, now it's his leftovers. It's all this you niggas is bitch ass niggas. Hoes. All of yous. Every last one of you motherfuckers that come with that bullshit. All you niggas that come with that narrative hoe shit. Bogus. Your whole channel is bogus. Cause you know that shit is bullshit. You wanna, and all y'all wanna be political about the shit straight up. Straight the fuck up, man to man. Ain't nobody trying to hear that bullshit. Go be motherfucking titians. I don't wanna hear that shit. Bottom line, these niggas ain't trying to get no smoke. Period. Talking about they chasing a bag knowing good and hell well there is no way as fighting a contender you're going to make more money fighting a contender than fighting a motherfucking champion. It's just how? How are you going to make more money fighting a number 2, number 3, even a number 1 contender over a unification bout? Even a motherfucking mandatory. Can't tell me you gonna make more money fighting a fucking mandatory than a unification bout. All you niggas talking about, it's Bob, it's this, or it's that, or it's all these things, and it's PBC, it's all these, it's Everson's promoters, and it's all these is bogus. Bogus. And the cold part about it will make it even worse or more of a motherfucking insult to me is that the sons of bitches tell you what they gonna do. And y'all still try to make excuses. Y'all still try to run a motherfucking narrative behind the bullshit. Even when they tell you, Errol Spence told you niggas he is not finna fight Terence Crawford. He told you that. So when he tell you he wants to be undisputed at welterweight, the nigga lying. He's lying. Meanwhile, you got fighters like Josh Taylor, Joshua Buatsi, really trying to do something out here. Really trying to fight the best out here. Like seriously, like not even bullshitting. Ain't no excuses, ain't no my promoter, ain't no this, ain't no that. They trying to make shit fucking happen. Period, point blank. Give a fuck about how many fans you got. I don't care about your Twitter following. Don't care about your Instagram following. I'm trying to scrap, son. Let me see what them hands do. You fuck what you talking about. Fuck what you tweeting about. Fuck what you on Instagram making videos and going live talking about. Fuck all that, nigga. What them hands do, cuz? What's up? What it do with the phone? What's happening? See me from the motherfucking shoulders, cuz. That's what they on. These other niggas like, nah, you know, I'm out here getting... Nigga, you ain't broke, son. You ain't out here stressing for money, nigga. You ain't out here tripping for nothing. Fuck you talking about? You talking about you the best? How you the best? You who you be? Oh, now we scrimmaging for belts now. We scrimmaging for belts now. That's what we doing. That's how we say, oh, we the best. We got a belt here. We got another belt over here. Yeah, we the best. But you ain't beat not a heartbeat, Pete, nothing. You ain't fought nobody. Not a threat, nothing. At all. Not one time you really fought a motherfucking threat. And that's how you gonna run your career. And everybody just happy because you fight non-threats and you putting them down. This person ain't a threat. Tank Davis told you niggas. He was worried about getting hit from Mario Barrios. I'm not knocking Tank for saying that. I'm not knocking Tank for even admitting that. None of that shit. What I'm telling y'all is what that should have told niggas, but it didn't, or it did. Y'all just want to rub that over the heel and shit. It's that, bruh, Tank ain't no 40-pounder. He could punch. He could punch, but he ain't trying to take it like he dishing it. He ain't trying to do that. He not. So I highly doubt Tank is really finna campaign at 140 pounds. I highly doubt that. Because he gonna have to do a whole lot more than just be strong. He gonna be short the bruh. He's telling you. It's a hype job. Tank is a 35-pounder. That's Tank. Tank is a killer at 130. He cool at 35. 140. The money for Tank is 35. He give everybody problems at 35. Give a fuck what you talking about. Gervonta Tank Davis give everybody problems from 100 and probably 26 to 135 pounds. Everybody. He give all y'all problems. But Tank ain't disciplined. He don't got the discipline to maintain weight. He don't got the discipline to maintain himself and keep himself out of fucking trouble to do that. So he just all over the fucking place. He gonna do what he do when he do and how he do it. They just gonna put him in there with certain motherfuckers and God willing knock him the fuck out. We're gonna put your ass in Baltimore. We're gonna put you in Atlanta. We might even put you in Texas somewhere. You can get the Charlo fans to hype you up or some shit. We gonna get you right, Gervonta. And as long as we can keep you riding in motherfucking Lamborghinis and your mama got a house, nigga, it's all motherfucking good. You a star. You out here kicking it with the Migos and shit. Fuck what everybody talking about. You went from living in the slums in Baltimore, now you out here kicking it with the Migos and Beyonce and Jay-Z and shit. Fuck everybody. You got Floyd friends now. Ain't that a bitch? Of course he shouldn't be at no goddamn 147 trying to entertain Keith one time, two time. I ain't got time. You better not deck me, Shannon Thurman. Fuck out of here. Got no good goddamn business. Keith Thurman trying to get a bag. He trying to get that Tank Davis bag. That's what he want. Because Keith Thurman ain't no bag. Keith Thurman ain't never been a bag. His greatest worth was when he had a belt. Tank Davis, and I mean when he had a world title. Tank Davis don't need a world title to be a bag. You fight Tank Davis, you getting a check. Or it's supposedly supposed to be getting a check. I would think you would get more money fighting Tank Davis than Keith Thurman. But Tank ain't finna fight, bro. Tank ain't finna fight Devin Haney. Tank not finna fight no real big name. He might fight maybe 2 his whole career. You might get 2, maybe 3 big names, like real big names that everybody fucking know when Tank Davis' career is over. But you're not finna see Tank fight those type of dudes often. Hardly at all. But Buatsi, what I don't like about Buatsi is when he do get you hurt, because he showed that in his last fight. When he do get you hurt, he go all out. And what sucks is you might not get everybody all out like that, just like what happened last time. He might fuck himself off. What's up with the set, though? What's up with my nigga Deuce, though? What's up with my nigga Boxing Logic United, though? Peace and pugilism. What's up with Double M, though? That was disrespectful to call the nigga Butterbean, though. What it do with the folk? But anyway, like I was saying, I don't like how he burned himself out because he ain't gonna be able to do that to everybody. What's up with Mondo? What's up with my nigga Mondo, though? He not gonna be able to get everybody out like that. He ain't gonna be able to do that. But he is doing really good. I'm sure he's getting really good sparring. He's getting really technical. He's becoming a more technical brawler. Buatsi got a good jab for a brawler. That's something that a lot of actual brawlers usually don't show a lot of, is that they can actually brawl. I mean, they can actually jab, excuse me. He can jab really good. It's just that once he gets you hurt, he go all out. And if he don't get you all out, it's a problem. Holla. Holla, holla, holla. Holla. Holla, holla, holla. And I got a feeling like if he gets, and then also I got a feeling if he fight the wrong person and he do that, he could get caught with something coming in. And that could be the difference. Like if he, let's say he get Better Beef hurt. Let's say he do get him hurt. And he go after him and he starts getting him, and then Better Beef just throw him. Bam! Boom. Buatsi knocked out. Over. Fight over. Boom. Better Beef wins. You know what I mean? Like I kind of see that for Buatsi, because he do go very, 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 very reckless once he gets you hurt. Like once he know you hurt, he just go. And he do get hit with stupid shit at that point. That's my biggest fear for Buatsi, is that part. But early, motherfucker can box, bro. Buatsi can box, and he can put his punches together real nice, and he know when to throw light shots, when to throw hard shots. Like, he's good. Buatsi ain't no bitch out here, and he's only going to get better. He got 15 fights, bro. He only got 15 fights. 15. And for real, fighters would have more fights if y'all were willing to fight more often. Y'all only fighting once, maybe twice. Maybe twice a year. Maybe. Buatsi is more ready than you think, Mondo. I'm telling you. He's more ready than you think. This is what I'm saying. If you were to put him in there with Kovalev versus when Yard went in there with Kovalev, I'm taking Buatsi. I think Buatsi doesn't empty the tank like Yard empties the tank. And Buatsi has a jab, a really good jab, like an impressive jab. I think Buatsi on the under could be the future of the division. I mean, look at, you got Bivol chasing. I mean, from what I can see, Bivol kind of trying to chase that Canelo bag, but you got Bivol and you got Better Beef. I haven't really looked at too much. I mean, you got Marcus Brown, and I mean, you got some people up there. But in my opinion, as far as that is concerned, I do think Buatsi could beat some of those guys. What's up with Dragon Leg though? NBBC forever. I do think Buatsi could beat some of those dudes. And even if let's just say for whatever debate's sake, he don't beat him, he can give him a hell of a fight. And he only got 15 fights. So I just think he and then the cold part about it, what I hate is when fighters are willing to fight those type of fights early, because Anthony Joshua did it. So imagine if AJ lost to Klitschko. Imagine that. Imagine if AJ would have lost to Klitschko. But how would you call him a hype job? The motherfucker could scrap. He training with us. He over here. in America, training with us, learning new things, getting his skills up. He ain't trying to be that British hype job, Mondo. He ain't trying to do that. I mean, I could hear you if he was just over there doing shit, and he just over there beating on niggas and shit like that and training and all that. But he over here training and going over there and beating on niggas. So he taking the tools he learning here and bringing them over there. So he already know what's over here. He already seeing the playing field. He getting the feel for that. So when he is to fight over here, he gonna tell you, Buatsi gonna be ready. I promise you. Only reason why I wouldn't say Kovalev wouldn't have slept him, because Buatsi got a jab. Yard don't know how to use the shoulder roll against Kovalev. He didn't know what to do with that shit. He didn't know when to use it, and he didn't go to the body. Buatsi go to the body often, way more than Yard. Not just in his last fight. That's what he do. Bro, Arthur beat Yard with the jab. Yard lost that fight to a jab. And he was mad because he was landing some of the hardest shots. He was hot about that shit. But given still, he lost the fight to a goddamn jab. And he was bitching about the shit. You lost the fight to a jab, Ant. Okay? What's up with my nigga Reek, though? What's up with Deuce, though?
Thanks shit, man. What's going on, bro?
Nothing, bro. I'm just trying to give my nigga Buatsi, you know what I'm saying? It's just due, you know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers over here in the States don't want to get niggas over on the other side of the pond. They just do. They want to hype up niggas that ain't even fighting or fought nobody and probably ain't even fought in the last 2 motherfucking years. But this niggas out here really getting their strap on and they ain't saying shit about them niggas, though.
Buatsi can fight. I just think, you know what I'm saying? I think he get a little too excited off the early, wanting to knock everything out. You know what I mean? I think if he got behind the jab a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? He'd be nasty. He just got to pace himself a little bit more.
That's it.
But he's a devastating puncher, you know what I'm saying? Fast. He got a different type of body build, you know what I mean? At the light heavyweight position, you know what I'm saying? He got all the intangibles, so you know, I mean, only time will tell, you know. And AJ moving him right, so you know, AJ got a good thing with both his fighters, Akoli and Buatsi, you know. So yeah, man, I think the kid got a real high ceiling.
I'm trying to tell you, and the Josh Taylor, bro, and you said, because I picked Ramirez to beat Josh Taylor. Everybody else was on Josh Taylor. I was the only motherfucker that was like, no, Ramirez is going to get it. And now this nigga undisputed and he don't get no props over here. He don't get no just due. All he get is that the nigga don't sell. He ain't worth this. He ain't this. He ain't that. But he the only nigga that got the motherfucking pinnacle. He the only motherfucker that pretty much got the holy grail in the sport right now.
You want to know why it is? And this might be kind of fucked up for people to swallow, and people might not want to hear this, but here's a perspective. Since you bring it up, this is why I've always thought that he ain't getting the respect that, you know, he deserves, you know, outside of the hardcore boxing community. Like, it doesn't benefit American, like the business of American boxing. Well, I can't, not in a whole, I wouldn't say that. It does benefit Top Rank, but it doesn't benefit the American fan base in any way for like that Josh Taylor victory. Like, nobody's celebrating that. Like, he went up against a Latino fighter. You know what I'm saying? So for just the American, just for the American boxing market, period, it would have been more beneficial for like Ramirez to win, because it would have been so much more of a machine put behind them, because the fan base is already in place for that. Josh Taylor's got a great fan base, but it's all based over there. So I don't think so, you know, just for hardcore boxing fans' sake, like we know Josh, we love Josh, we know all the talent Josh has. You know, we've been following Josh, but just speaking of the world, like casual fan base don't go farther than who they fans of. Some tribally speaking, some people only gonna pay attention to they fighters and in a sense. So I just don't think that, you know, Josh Taylor really had no American like fan base for real. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't, so his name isn't getting mentioned like that. What I mean in benefit, like as far as the American fan is concerned, like I feel like Jose Ramirez would have benefited so much more, you know, from that victory. It's just Josh Taylor's just not getting that benefit. It's like he got signed to Top Rank, and then okay, you're fighting Kong Song and you're fighting for undisputed. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like nobody was paying to the Victor Postals. Nobody was paying to the Muhammad Ali trophy, you know, run, any of that shit. Nobody paid attention to the amazing battle him and Regis had. Like, so I guess it's just really, it just falls on the market of boxing and nobody really understands. It's like this. UK fans understand American boxers and shit like that. American fans do not understand UK boxers because they don't reach that far. Their reach doesn't go beyond their backyard, which is America, unfortunately. And if this is the world of boxing, fandom has to practice that as well. So it's just unfortunate Josh Taylor is just suffering from the fact that people ain't really about the sport like that. I don't know, man.
So basically, he just went to Top Rank to pretty much get his ass beat from Josh Taylor. I mean, from Jose Ramirez to look like something. Because that's what it would look like. It was like, why would you come to Top Rank? What was the purpose of you coming to Top Rank? To be a punching bag for Bob Arum?
I think it's bigger than Bob, bro. I think that Top Rank has a hell of a team behind them. Just hypothetically speaking, I don't know. But you can't tell me out of the shit we've seen out of Bob Arum in the past 2 years, no young, smart individual like a Josh Taylor. He's no dummy. And a bunch of other people like Young Tiafimo re-signing and all of that shit. You can't tell me these people are signing with the prospect of just doing business with Bob Arum. Shit, Bob Arum could sneeze and he could his heart could stop tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Literally. So I don't think that people are signing there for that reason. I think there's the machine that's with Top Rank. I think that there's something else being promised to these fighters, or maybe they saying that they're going to move their career in a certain way. And I mean, ESPN still is ESPN behind that shit. So I think it's bigger than them just signing for Bob Arum. I don't know. Something else might be promised over there or whatever. But it's just like Anui, Taylor, any of those dudes, I don't see why any of them will want to sign with him right now, you know. But
I was just finna bring up Inoue. So it's like, what are they gonna do with Inoue? Because he coming from Japan and he coming with that Japanese following. So what they gonna do? They gonna do him the same way they tried to do Josh Taylor, except they might actually succeed with Inoue. They might rob him of a fight that he should have won.
No. Would it be too much of a stretch to say that I think Naoya Inui's more popular than Josh Taylor at this time? Both of them sit being foreigners. Like, I feel like more people know the Naoya Inoue than Josh Taylor. I'm not saying that based off of anything. It just feels like that to me. It just feels like he's more popular and more casual people would recognize him than Josh. I don't know.
What's up with Queen Lisa Bells, though?
What's up? What's up, Boom? What's up, Two Hands?
What's up, Lisa?
Nothing. Thank you for saying that, Two Hands, because I remember when Inoue was touted and HBO bought him over and they had the Superfly series, and I think he fought on one of the Chocolatito undercards, and they was talking about him, so they were building him up. I remember that.
Yeah, man. And then, you know, Japan, they like, you know, he's like the biggest thing over there. Like, Inouye's already a superstar, you know what I mean, in his home country. I'm not saying that Josh Taylor isn't known or isn't a superstar, well respected in his own right, but it just seems like, man, that machine behind Inoue is just fucking huge, man.
Yeah, he fought out there a lot. He fought in Japan a lot.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Myron.
What's poppin', brothers and sister?
What's
What's
good,
going on?
Myron? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Great.
Just laying low, watching things from afar. That's all.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's always a good thing, low
Yeah,
key.
yeah, man.
Yep, me
Sometimes you
too. I
just
think it's okay.
step. I think it's always good sometimes to step back and recalibrate things.
You got to.
Always.
Yeah,
Yep,
you know what I'm
always.
saying. That's all.
Yep.
Regroup and figure something out. Upgrade. Bingo. Sometimes when you just making, mm, sometimes you just making shit. You got try to step it up. So I'm stepping back and try to come back something fresh. So I don't try.
Right.
I want to. I can tend to talk too much, so I don't want to give too much away. So let me just stay the fuck off the
But
chat.
do y'all think that what's going on with the glamour divisions? You think that's starting to trickle down to the small guys?
And what way do you mean? Like not like fights, not. What you? You mean like the glamour that the heavyweight, the bigger guys have. You think it's trickling down to the little guys?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I feel like there's popularity there, but I feel like as long as there's a popular big guy, it's always gonna overshadow anything the little guys got going on. So as soon as a big guy pops up or any fight that's big in the heavier divisions, I just feel like that it'll just completely overshadow any conversation that's down there. It's just the way history is with that division. But I mean, I like what I feel like the smaller guys could make that case for themselves, but they don't fight.
Who you talking about? Like
I
a
think.
new age weight
Featherweights,
class,
flyweights.
or
Well,
you
I think
talking
it.
about like the 135 pounders?
No,
Right.
I'm talking about the 126 on down.
Well,
Oh, okay.
my opinion is it's not the glamour divisions don't have so much popping to trickle down to the lower division. So it's like
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. If, damn, we lost Pacquiao Spence. I went to Pacquiao Ugas fight, but we haven't got the glamour divisions ain't made I guess the glamour fights. In order for it to be the glamour division, you got to have the glamour fights going on. I guess that's the best way to put it.
But
So
the
we
way
haven't
they
had
want to
the
push it now is the glamour divisions are the dudes that's popular. It's like the times change. Glamour divisions when what we used to is the dudes that actually fought, the best fought the best and all that shit.
well the
Now,
welter.
what they consider the glamour divisions is the motherfuckers that's popping on social media and shit, and they fight once or twice a year.
They
These
still try to
things are
go to
true.
that welterweight though, and they still want to work to the welterweight or maybe the middleweight. But it's nobody really popping. I mean, glamour divisions that's popping for shit to trickle down to the little guys. The little guys gonna have to like make their way on their own. My bad. Go two hands. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, man, you 100% right. You wanna know what's crazy? Like honestly, I don't think there is a glamour division right now. I think everybody wants, you know what I'm saying, to lend more viewership in one direction, but I feel like even the glamour kind of fluctuates through all the divisions because even Canelo doesn't set in stone in one division. He fights from 150 all the way up to 175. So it's just like once you get your eyes lended to one place, you're shifting them to another division. It's kind of like because none of them are really giving us anything that we asked for. So it's kind of like, okay, you wait to see when Anthony Joshua's going to fight, and you wait to see when Canelo's going to fight at whatever weight that he fights at. Other than that, you just kind of like, okay, here's boxing, here's what they're talking about, but this is what we're getting on a week by week basis, and just kind of take it for what it is. But it's never what we want it to be.
Exactly. Good point. Exactly.
Yeah, because the fighters don't fight like they used to. They don't fight as often. And like just say PBC, he has a big roster of fighters. So they don't even have enough time slots,
Right.
even with them being on
That's what
Fox
I noticed.
and Showtime. So you got like over, just say you got 200 fighters. I'm just guesstimating. You figure it's not even enough time slots for all the fighters. You know what I
And I'm
mean?
You
glad
know
you
what?
said that, Lisa, because it's the illusion is what they're doing is PBC is going to give you a lot of fights. It's going to give you a lot of quantity of fights. So it's going to give people the illusion that PBC is it. They the shit. They giving you fights. They giving you fights. But they ain't going to be giving us quality fights. It's just going to be giving us quantity. They're going to be giving us fights on Fox and Showtime, and everybody going to be happy about the little fights that they giving us. But they're not going to give us quality fights, though.
What I've noticed, right? The boxing, you have a bona fide like A-tier fighters, like coming up. I mean, when I was coming up watching, you have a bona fide A-tier fighters, and then you have those who B-tier that's giving the A-tier fighters a good fight, but it probably won't win. You feel me? And then you have, of course, the guys that you use to patent your record. Your C-tier. I use A, C, B, and C now because I don't like calling nobody bums or nothing like that. Try and gain a little bit of respect, be more respectful. But the thing is, right now in boxing, bro, the thing, it's like no, in my opinion, there's no clear cut A tier, a crop of A tier fighters that really shine above everybody else.
Yeah, I agree with that because it's like the way we knew if dudes was really good because they beat somebody that was really good.
Right. So, in my opinion, the what the PBC does is they use the fighters they know that are pretty good that in this era that's A tier, they fight them sparingly. And so if you put them up against the other A tier, because right now it's about records and it's about belts, right? So if you got people in our modern era, they willing to throw everybody out, willing to throw the baby out with the bathwater if they get 1, 2, 3 losses. Look at Kell Brook. Look at, whoever. Well, it's back in the day you had 2 or 3. That your career wasn't over. But by then you might have 2 or 3 losses, but you have 40 fights, 45 fights. So they don't even fight as much in this current era. You feel me? So it seems they use the fighters sparingly and try to keep the ones that are real good, the ones that will give a pretty good fight, the ones the fans will follow. They want to keep that, literally keep them loss column as few as possible before, us in the YouTube world willing to throw them out and say, call them a gatekeeper and all this and all that. And this is why you might see, or they'll ride the fighters back. If they got one guy good that they hope is budding that can break into the mainstream to to reach either half the status of, say, Floyd was, they will ride them, and then maybe if an injured blase happened, then they don't have no backup. We saw this happen with 2 people recently. We saw that happen to, it was riding our boy Ponytail, my man, they was riding, Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was the wave at one point. He was riding him. He had beat, your boy Garcia. He had beat Porter. He was becoming to be the man. And he got the mouthpiece. He's a good talker. But by the injury, I guess, lagging that he had with the elbow and all that, then you needed somebody, you had the Earl and his team pushing him up there. So when Keith Thurman fell back for a good long time, then now Earl picked up the steam and was pushing. But now, boom, he done had 2 kind of mishaps in his career that's fucking up his momentum. And now since you won't got your top tier fighters fighting but so much, then the public now done forgot about it. Now the public say, well, Keith Thurman ain't fought in 2 years. Gary Russell ain't fought in once but 1 year. You keep giving the opposing team few to use to denigrate the fighter and whatever reason they, try to find a hat. And so, like I was always yelling back in the day, let these Bamas just go ahead, air it out. Use your rematches. You can have trilogies and all that shit with these top motherfuckers. If those are guys you want to keep, and all they did was lose to themselves, but there'd be great fights and people want to see the rematch. You know what I mean? But now they try to get Keith Thurman back. Keith Thurman's going to fight really soon. Watch, because every time I see, just before he went on his streak, right, and won all the belts and all that, he was doing the same thing I see him doing now, which is doing videos with TBV in the gym working out. Before he got all those belts, that's all I remember. I was like, who's this dude? He was talking mad shit. He was getting my interest. And then boom, he went on his run. Then at his injuries, they put him back. And like I say, he like, now you hear him in the, put him in the back, and then it's happened to Earl. They run him. But now Earl, they want to keep riding Earl, plus Earl got a great marketing machine with him, which is the Alphabet Boys and all that. And so,
but you know what that is, right? Like, look at it right now. They don't know what to do with Errol right now. They don't know what Errol's going to be.
That's my point.
Exactly. They about to pull Keith Thurman back in.
Yeah.
And bet they money on Keith because they like, look, we might have to throw Errol to Keith, or we might throw Ugas to Keith or whatever, and make an Errol Smith Keith thing because we got to find some way to salvage some on next event.
Bruh, especially if Crawford beat Porter, and if he beat him convincingly, bro, they gonna have to do something quick.
And that ties in to what Lisa Bales just said. What I was just saying, it ties in Lisa Bales. They want to fill these slots, and you got so many of these cats. You got you got in all the divisions, especially still at the 154. You know what I mean? These guys, we ain't seeing these guys 2 or 3 times a year. And so the PPC got a roster, and I mean, like she said, they don't got no spots for these cats to fill. And I also think they're using them sparingly because records do mean something. So people say, oh, he got 5 losses. They'll start to dox you and all that shit and say that, which is the opposing camp is going to use.
Records even mean something for the B side when it comes to their business practice, because like, look, not only do they gotta have a stable of undefeated fighters, or they gotta have this illusion that they fighters is undefeated because they ain't fought nobody as champions or whatever. They try to throw them in. They gotta have another undefeated guy for him to fight, because usually that's how they sell it. They always sell a O against another O. When the guy's just mysterious and you don't know anything about his background, they always try to hang their fat hat on the fact that, like, hey, well, this guy is undefeated, so that makes it a tough fight. Instead of when really that doesn't really mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Because now, a couple years ago, I was just saying, I was like, yo, they're only going to be able to round robin so much before it catches up with them. Now we at that time to where it's catching up. They about round robin the shit out of damn near everything that they got. So now they have to create some type of interest that makes sense business-wise, and it makes sense for the public as well to spend their bread. So now, for all of those showcases that they could put on, how many of them joints could they make right now and make money? And then how many cards could you really pack? How many cards can you put together and be able to pay all of these fighters without already risking the fact that you're in the red? Because the business that you do right now, you don't necessarily reap that much off of your return. So I don't know. The practice over there is funny. You just go, but I definitely feel where you coming from with Keith Thurman looking like he about to come up off of the bench and be, you know what I'm saying, they ace in the hole right now at 147.
Yeah, he's gonna be in there real soon. Back again. Because he was saying, he was saying on TBV, he like, I'm waiting on my fight. And so he's now exposing Floyd. He's talking about Spence and all this shit. He like, look, so I'm like, I see the same type of energy he had years ago. I'm like, okay, he's about to start. He's about to get a fight soon. So my bad, Lisa, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Keith kind of put PBC on the map, if people remember, because he was they star guy when it first started, because Floyd was not PBC. He had his own exclusive deal with HBO. I mean Showtime. Mm-hmm. You know, but of course he was, you know, part of it, you know, business partner with Al Heyman. But you know, and then things went whatever. He started getting injured and yada 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 yada. But he didn't have the machine behind him. And so people started, you know,
exactly. They didn't market it.
They actually, he lost a lot of support, and you know, unfortunately, so he had to, you know, just trying to make his way back. And this, to me, this is the time where they should be really putting like a spotlight on Boots Ennis.
Look, what we're seeing right now, what's going on is these boxers ain't getting shined like they used to because the technology is now shifted to social media. It's now you got and since Al Heyman, okay, was in the music business, they have a practice called payola. And so
Yeah.
what the boxers got to do now is do payola to um, strong, strong followed boxing channels, pay them to push their name out there and control the narrative. And that's what we're dealing with.
They already do that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, they do that. That's the Alphabet Boys, the LDBC. So that's now. Haven't y'all noticed now the LDBC is pushing Gary Russell?
No, I haven't. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
really
they
watch
pushing
the
him now
channel.
because my man said, okay, you gotta get with the times. So now he like, okay, if this is how it gotta go, I gotta go. Or they're gonna keep bashing me. See, what they're paying, the LDB is supplying a service for or other groups that don't have a title, but other groups do it too, but supplying a service for the fighters of keeping my name out there of this word relevance. And the only way to keep relevance is have people talk about you. And so that's now. Remember that time I talked to y'all in the back once everybody was who's finished the show. That's what it is. So now I know this firsthand. So now you know what I mean. That's if you notice the BFTB and all them. They say Gary Nelson's name in a positive light now more so, and not a negative no more because he's now on a team or now a client, so to speak. So that's where it is right now. It's payola for YouTube. So this is where we get money off the joint too. And so like boom, that's an idea for you. You know what I mean? Two hands. That's what it is right now. So motherfuckers ain't doing this for their that's all in this old recalibrating thing. And you know, strategizing. So that's where it is right now. Now the thing is, you could do it and still keep your integrity. You could do it and still keep your fucking integrity. But that's what's going on in the sport. And so these boxers ain't getting pushed because the promoters now saying it's on you. And so Al Heyman got these cats with they're all their own promotional joint. And Al Heyman is just a freaking advisor. So what they do, they get front end, but just as much on the back end, points and all that shit. Where other like say Terence Crawford don't get it because he's in a full contract which is top rank. So he get front end, but he gets no back end. These guys at PPC gets back end money.
I think they gonna cut the Porter fight. I think they gonna somehow get between that fight and try to push Crawford to fight Virgil, because Virgil is number one in WBO. Porter is number two. So I think
Yeah,
they're
how
going to
they
try to
jumped
get
that?
Porter out of
Porter
that
was
shit and
number
make
one.
enforcement. Because I don't think they're going to let Virgil fight any of their other guys. I don't think they're going to do that. They're going to try to push Virgil on Crawford.
Porter
Yeah.
was number one. It's funny how they just skipped that. How do y'all think about again Virgil Ortiz versus Crawford though?
Man, I think
Um,
Crawford stops him right now.
I agree.
I think the young man is ready, but I still think Crawford will beat him.
Yeah, I
But I
think
You
think
it's
he's
want to know
ready.
what's crazy? Like the whole time when Virgil fought Aegis Kavalauskas, you know what I'm saying? Bud got all this shit for going to that man wheelhouse and getting knocked down or whatever. And people try to go in this huge debate about it. I don't hear nobody debating about them two clear knockdowns that motherfucker got in that fight against Aegis Kavalauskas the other
I
week,
know.
though.
No.
That's what I'm. You ain't hear nobody say nothing about Virgil Ortiz getting knocked on his ass twice. You hear what
Right.
niggas is
He
saying?
went life
Great
and death with that
performance.
man,
He
dude.
went out there and performed. He went life and death with him. He just Kavaluskas is a puncher. He wasn't a puncher up until he fought Virgil. Before then, everybody was dogging Bud for his performance. Everybody was dogging him as a boxer and everything. Oh, now he's strong. Oh, now he can punch though. Man, niggas be cracking me up with that shit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I agree.
But I
If Bud
thought
is like public enemy number one, everybody
For
always
what
want to know
though?
what Bud.
But
Yeah,
like
because
for
everybody
people,
listen.
Steve's
Everybody
like
that say Bud
nobody
be
saying
people saying Bud is ducking. Nothing screams duck. Only only when he hit a roadblock was when he got to 147. He did beat Jeff Horn um and became the WBO title holder. But his past career, it's like when he got to 147, he hit that roadblock because couldn't get those fights.
And they
Nobody want
definitely
to
don't
fight
want.
him.
And they
So-
definitely don't want Bud to dismantle Porter's ass. I mean, they don't want if they're afraid to see if Bud dismantle Porter. They are
Of
afraid
course they are.
because they're like, this nigga done fought tooth and nail with Thurman, with fucking Earl and Garcia. And I mean, of course, beat Garcia. And if Crawford goes in there and dismantle this dude, then it's now putting their talent level in question. You know what I'm saying?
For real. And that's why they've been trying to keep it away. So basically, judging by this era standards and by what people throw out in the media, if people stonewall you on different promotional outfits, basically, you're a bum. You didn't get the fight. You can't get the fights in that division because the other promotional outfits and they fighters won't play ball with you. So now you've done nothing in your career. By those standards, if that's the case, then so many other fighters ain't done shit in their careers either then. If we just completely dismissing people's careers and just looking at it for when they go up in weight after an undisputed run at 140, when they go up in weight to start dragging them because the other dudes are cowards. So now you put all of your frustrations on the one guy that's willing to fight. It's just like, I ain't even going to get involved in this nonsense with y'all. It's just weird to me. A few channels that call themselves unbiased, a few channels that say they call it straight down the middle, they be going at it like that too. But I swear, it's just it just really just irks me how how everybody praising this man off his performance against the same guy, and he get knocked down twice by him.
But Crawford ain't did nothing though. Crawford ain't fought nobody in the welterweight division. He ain't did nothing. He ain't fought nobody. But these motherfuckers ain't gonna have the same energy if it's Teofimo Lopez, if it's Canelo, if it's Tank Davis, if it's Ryan Garcia. Jesus Lord,
I do believe, yo, that when that fight happened with Virgil Ortiz, that's going to be a hell of a fight. I do believe it.
But deep game though, Myron. This what they gonna do. Say if Bud take him next. You want to know what they're going to say? They're going to say he did it to try to avoid him because he's going to be dangerous a little bit too later. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. If Bud was to fight him next and say he just smashes him, they're going to sit up there and say, oh, Bud took the fight now because he wanted to get him before he got too dangerous. But now,
Virgil wasn't ready.
His young killer.
Yeah, Virgil wasn't ready. It was too soon. They do the same. Exactly. It's the same it's the same replay. It's the same thing over.
Same thing with Canelo and Floyd. Canelo was too young. Floyd cherry picked him, but at the same time, Mike Tyson was winning undisputed titles a year before Canelo. You know what I'm saying? The age Canelo fought Floyd.
Exactly. So it is the same spiel, man. That's why I had to pull back. I was like, okay, this is become a headache. So I don't know. I gotta learn how to respin it and do this how these guys do it. Some guys can just have the attrition to do that, and I realize, like, man, I really kind of don't got the attrition to keep going over the same thing over and over and over and over.
Because you got alpha male energy, bro. You got alpha male energy. Who want to sit back and just argue with dudes all day about fights that's never going to happen, bro?
Right.
Not me. Got time for that bitch shit.
Right.
That's why. Go ahead.
Or it seemed like we gotta everything is like throwing fantasy fights to us that we know they now trying to say, how will Jamal Herring do against Crawford? And Jamal Herring, we like, nigga, Crawford got so many motherfucking fights to fight before even a Jamal Herring comes into play. Jamal Herring's just in his career in his 20s. How the fuck you going to talk about Jamal Herring and Crawford?
We talking about a 130-pound fighter to a 147-pound fighter. What are people talking about?
Motherfuckers be in the chat be saying this shit, making these type of I'd be like, what the hell? I mean, they're all over the place. I'm like, okay.
I don't think they're gonna do shit with Boots, Dragon Leg, because I think Boots probably do got a little rebelliousness in him. His dad probably got a little rebelliousness in him. So I think Boots probably gonna have to get it the hard way.
What is it, Boots that's 147?
Yeah.
Maybe they talking
pushing
about
Virgil.
Maybe talking about Boots going to Crawford. Some guys was putting that shit on in the chat. I'm like, are these guys nuts? What now? Now they are trying to put my boy on a suicide mission.
And
But
this is just my opinion. Those welterweights that's been there a long time, Danny is moving up, allegedly,
Of
supposedly.
course. You better move
Um,
his fat ass up.
okay, you got Keith and Sean. They have been. I know Earl right now. He's injured, so he's trying to, unify whatever. But Keith and Trillin, they've been at welterweight too long. When they gonna move up?
why you say that?
Keep staying at 47.
They are big. You don't see how big those guys are when they out of like they blow up.
When
I'm
they
not
not
sure.
fighting,
Well,
when they not fighting, they blow up. Yeah, Danny fat
Sean
as fuck.
stays in shape. Sean stays in shape though.
Right,
You know
right.
why? Because his father, he stays in shape. But they're big guys. They're not in their 20s no more. They're in their 30s.
Yeah, yeah, that
They have
weight
not
starting to
moved
come.
up. I mean, I can understand like Marvin Hagler was a career
Right.
middleweight, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Some guys, yeah.
Different times. Yeah, because it's
Food
almost
is
like this too. I
motherfucking
be
food is
thinking
different.
like look at Jared Hurd, all of these dudes. It's like all of these dudes are ways they not supposed to be campaigning that. It's almost like they try to take their size and they lack of ability, campaign small or whatever to try themselves look better in situations, because if they was at the weight they supposed to be at, somebody else would be exposing their ass. I don't know. I be feeling like that sometimes. Because I'm
Right.
just like, yo, it don't make no sense that Errol Spence is this fucking big, man, and he trying to stay at 147, bro. It makes no fucking sense to me. Like, he's killing himself trying to stay there every fight. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Because shit. How tall is Keith Thurman?
About
Five.
probably
what?
like 5'9".
Keith Thurman could be up at 160 by now.
Keith ain't gonna fight at no 160. They
No,
not gonna do nothing like that.
No, I'm
They
not saying,
not.
but he could.
Yeah,
As
of
far
course
as
he could.
height, size. You know what I mean?
They
And
were bigger when they first came out. They fought at bigger weights.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I think. I'm just expounding on what Lisa said.
Because Earl came out at 54.
Same as Porter.
did
Porter
Keith.
came at 154. You feel
So
me?
did Keith.
So yeah, this motherfucker could be legit 160s by now. You know what I mean?
you notice when
Sugar
dudes
Ray Leonard
go
started at 147 and went all the way to 156.
when you look bad at 160, you'll try your head at 154, or vice versa, 168. That's just a known thing in this era of boxing. When people look bad in certain weight classes, they will jump smaller or try to jump bigger to try to expose the lack of thereof and on the weight higher or the weight lower. You know what I mean? This just the moves they make, man. Like Jared Hurd. Like, what sense do it make to see Jared Hurd at 154 pounds, bro?
Right.
Like, this nigga don't even like 154, bro. I'm like, yo, if I was his parents, I'd be concerned for that dude.
Right.
Cutting me. That's
He
crazy.
can fight at 60. It's just them big dudes. He can't sit there and bully them like that.
And it's
That's
so
the problem.
He looked like a light heavyweight to me.
Yeah, because he is.
Yeah.
big boy.
Man, Jared ain't no little boy in real life, man. That dude is a light heavyweight. This nigga down there walking around at 154, man, because you taking advantage, man. That's why you walk dudes,
168
knocking dudes off. That's why you can walk down Arias Landry Lara, man.
for a whole fight.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, he ain't gonna
He
fight
didn't
you,
walk
dude,
that
at
other guy
58.
down. That one that just beat him.
Hell
Arias.
nah, J-Rock put that boxing, he put the boxing lessons on his day.
Yeah.
Facts. And you know
I
what?
think he
And
That
should
shit
move
funny,
up.
man.
look
Jared
at,
should move up.
you think, and I revert back to the past. When the guys started, we watched in the 80s and the 90s, they started a lot younger, their career. Because remember this, when Sugar Ray Leonard, who started at 24, 25, about 24, his actual career, by the time he turned 30, he was on his first retirement, and he came to fight at 160. And who was that? Marvin Hagler, out of retirement. But he was only 30 years old then. So you look at the time, and so just comparing the time scale, how they're moving today compared to when they moved back in the day. It's just another argument that they were like more skilled and more, just elite fighters. More, it was better trained. And another thing this week that came to mind with me, and I was just comparing them boxing, recalibrating. I was like, wow, you know what? Back in the day when Sugar, you think about it in the comparison, and it guys make the comparison by so many more sports right now. But now I was thinking about it, like, damn, it's kind of true. Back in when Hagler, Hearns, Duran, and Leonard, the boxers got paid more than everybody. Boxing was the number one highest paid sport in America.
Players, man.
You gotta think. Then Jordan, of course, only didn't come until that was 84 Olympics when he was in the 84 Olympics. So his career started in 85. Then there was kind of course, the Jordan campaign. So, but back then, boxers, but Jordan still only came out, only made, 3.6 million his first contract with the Bulls. So boxers were still the highest paid athletes in the world, but they're not so today.
And their endorsement game was crazy. They was on everything.
They're the ones who got all the Coca-Cola, the fucking food, and the speed stick and everything. So the landscape of the world has changed in the sports realm. And I was this week just thinking about that, for other talking points later on. It's like, okay, it has changed. And I got to acknowledge that because, it's not like when I was coming up. Of course, being a...
Right. Think about this, Myron. That's back when the three Michaels ruled the world. Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, and Mike Tyson, bro. And there was no social media around. And anywhere in the world you go, everybody knew him, whether you was in Alaska all the way to Japan, bro.
It was like, the most famous man in the world. Yeah.
Putting that in perspective, all the money around them dudes and just around their careers, that just showed and Mike was in the Glamour. The heavyweight division was the Glamour division, of course. It's like if you were a champion in any division in boxing, bro, you literally, that was just a well-respected position. So you would get endorsement positions and stuff just off being a champion. Fuck if people knew you or they didn't know you or whatever. Just because you had a belt, you was gonna get some type of endorsement, some type of extra bread. That shit don't exist for fighters now.
Hey, wasn't no MMA, wasn't none of that shit going on. It was just boxing.
Canelo got a lot of endorsements, and so do Canelo and Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
very endorsed.
That's because they marquee though. They can get money.
Here's the note.
Yeah, they are brands or whatever you call it. Yeah.
Right.
Welterweights,
Under Armour deals and shit.
In that time in the 80s, welterweights was popping because all the was there. Everything was like kicking the lighter weights.
Canelo was popping.
It was popping. Think about it. I saw
Mark Breland. He was around.
Everybody. So Marvis Hagler, the fight, the craziest 3 minutes when he fought Hearns. Did you know they generated 300 million views for that fight?
Wow.
That's a lot of fucking people, bro. I was watching this old interview. He was when he was when he was on David Letterman. You don't see the fighters every day, all day. Just back then, boxers were showing up on Arsenio, Letterman, Carson.
Yeah.
Everybody, you feel me? So and he
was talk show.
Like, man, this guy, we had generated like 300 million. For the fight, it was like the biggest. I'm like, God damn, he said that. I'm like, wow, I didn't even put that in perspective. Like 300 million views for that fight. And I was just like, whoa. I was like, yeah, the landscape has changed tremendously. Just watching. So I was like, wow. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow.
Well, Oscar De La Hoya was a big star. He was past.
You know what I mean? All of
that.
Yeah.
Huge. Floyd Mayweather, yeah.
Floyd
Manny
Pacquiao. The coattails at the very end and build his shit up.
When Manny retires, when he officially retires, Manny will be the last of the old regime of boxing. That's it.
Yeah. He's it. Like, people don't realize that either. Like, when Manny officially hangs up his gloves and chooses to focus on his country, he is literally the last of like the old generation of
that's
boxers.
Why they want. That's why they give him 40 million for one fight and let him come back every 2 years. You know what I mean? That's why they do that. They know what they're going to lose with the market value of them. So you got all of Southeast Asia who will watch you. You feel me? That's big, bro.
Yeah, Manny brought fans from all over the fucking Asia to see him.
Yeah, so you ain't just, they talking about the Philippines, but you got to keep in mind, you can't tell the difference between a Filipino, a Thai, a motherfucking Cambodian,
Laos.
a Laotian. Yeah, those Vietnamese, those all one kingdom back in centuries ago. You know what I'm saying? Then they get split up and all that. That was all the same people. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. It was just, it wasn't just Philippines. He had all Southeast Asia watching. So yeah, they know. They was like, we give you 40 million. Then that's why it was so easy not to cancel that fight and let Ugas just stick in there, because they know he's still going to generate so much views from his region. He's bringing countries.
I gotta ask this though. What y'all think, if it happens? What y'all think the difference of the chances of Khalid Plant versus Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo? Start off with Deuce. He ain't said shit. What you think?
Hold on, what happened? What happened now?
I said, what do you think the chances? Of course, very slim. But what do you think the chances of Khalid Plant beating Canelo versus the chances that Billy Joe Saunders had to beat Canelo? You think Billy Joe Saunders is going to be the same like Billy Joe, or are you going to do better than Billy Joe?
Caleb Plant just got, man, look, anybody could go in there and do better than Billy Joe Saunders, because I'll say this. You just gotta want that shit, man. If you already made it up in your mind that you willing to die in that motherfucker, then yeah, you could do better. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta really want that shit, man, because that's an uphill battle, man. I don't know if that nigga Caleb really wanted like that. I know he got a pretty ass wife that work at Fox. I know, he got a new beautiful little girl that he just had with his wife or whatever. And maybe the nigga's just trying to cash out, because looking around at that little stipend shit and Al, you know what I'm saying, giving them money out his back pocket billfold just ain't working out.
Wow.
Damn. What you think, Lise?
Listen, he's a good boxer. He hasn't fought anybody not even half the caliber of Canelo. I'm just being realistic. I'm not saying that, like, I'm looking at who he's fought. Fagan Bolts, Mike Lee. Like,
we don't know none of them.
Now, Usyk was his best win. That's when he got his.
That's the boogeyman.
Right.
Kind of the boogeyman.
But I just don't see the caliber of the preparation is just not there for Canelo. I just don't see it. I just don't see him. It'll probably be competitive, and then once Canelo get in his groove, Canelo's mean. Canelo is a very mean fighter in the ring. I don't know if people really watch him. I've seen like a couple of his fights where Canelo fights like an old school fighter, like he hits you on the hips. He body work is old school with that. He hits you on the hips. He's gonna slow you down with that body work. He really is.
And that's the thing what makes Canelo so scary, man, because when it becomes to the point where body work becomes almost your second nature to you, it's your first instinct to do body work consistently throughout rounds, and you already gifted as a fighter with a punch, man, it's tough, man.
And he gonna do it for 12 rounds. As long as you up, he gonna be in your face. He gonna be in your chest the whole 12.
And he got a chin.
Bro, that little pity patting ass fucking combinations he be putting together and shit out that joint, like he that Afro dude off Ready to Rumble and shit on an 8-punch combination. Like, man, that shit ain't doing nothing, man. That shit Caleb Plant be doing, that shit is soft as hell, bro. I'm like, yeah, you putting a whole bunch of punches and barrages together, which that's what it will take to soften the dude up. But I'm like, dude, a dude like Canelo, And your punch, I'm like, man, that shit is not gonna phase nobody, man. It's gotta have a little something on it. That shit look like it ain't got nothing on it,
because
man.
you know, hey, bro, I know y'all notice it, like we all notice it. They do not fight with the same ferocity as the fighters of the the 90s and the 80s. They don't fight. We don't see the referee breaks it up. They don't fight their way. As soon as they get close, they hold and wait for the referee to break them up. That shows you everything right there. If that was the fucking if that was anywhere in the 80s and motherfuckers is fighting through a hold, I can't believe it in this era how it's so easy to tie up a fighter. That shit would not be happening in the motherfucking 80s because the other fighters,
Niggas would throw
yo, that shit when you would I never seen that shit. Go watch any Marvin Hagler fights. Go watch most of Sugar Ray Leonard, any Duran fights, or any of the mother back in the day, and see how often you see cats get tied up. They motherfuckers, both sides are banging, both ends are banging all the way through. If they close to each other, they fighting their way out of there. They're not looking to hold and wait the referee.
What tripped me out is how them Bammers just let their hands down by their waist and shit and just let them Bammers hold them.
Yeah.
You just let them walk in there just for a hug.
Yeah. And all
like this nigga want to break too. Like, come on, bro.
They don't train with the same ferocity. They don't, and so they don't fight with that ferocity. But we do see that. I could see that through that motherfucker Virgil Ortiz. He'll fight through it. I see that with Terence Crawford. Crawford don't want to tie you up. I've looked for fights where I want to see where he ties the guy up. Crawford don't look to tie you up. That motherfucker wants to punch. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say I look at him and say, okay, he got that something different. He got that old school tenacity because he looking there to prove something every time he get in there because they're already stringing him out with the fights. So every time he get in a fight, he grumpy as fuck with a chip on his shoulder and he looking to knock a nigga out. That's why he on a 7-fight knockout streak. I would not want to fight Crawford right now.
He's a mean little bastard, man.
He is mean as fuck. He's meaner than
that motherfucker.
Yeah, he's mean
like,
too.
He's meaner than Canelo. Canelo would tie you up. Like, hey, look at the referee. How many times you seen Canelo?
That motherfucker.
Hey, he hit me low. These motherfuckers will cry. Back in the day when you watch the old fighters, bro, and I'm getting emotional now, nigga, you wouldn't even know when a motherfucker hit you low. Or the audience, the fans. We wouldn't really hardly notice no low blows because the fighter would just fight through it. He would never complain. Nowadays,
you know Crawford mean when that Bama checked out on a thigh punch, man. A motherfucker got out the ring when he punched him in the thigh and said he hit him in the balls. That means he was looking for any and every excuse to exit out that ring from getting hit he was hit with. Dude.
Yeah. Amir Khan, yeah.
Yeah, man. That man hit him in his thigh and he got up out of there, man. Said he hit him in the balls. That's how mean that dude is, man. He ain't want to get punched by Crawford no more. He was already knocking him on his ass, timing the shit out of him. And think about it. Amir Khan fast as shit. Now, when Terence Crawford is outspeeding the speedster, yeah, it becomes a problem. Yeah, he was ready to pack it in.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my thing, man. So that's why they see Crawford as something different, in my opinion. I've been looking very closely at this shit for the last month. I'm like, that nigga's different. He ain't gonna every time he's in a fight and he trying to knock you out, motherfuckers holding him. He trying to pull his way out of there. Like, get the fuck off me, motherfucker.
He trying to swarm the shit out there.
Yeah, he like, man, put that like, ref, look at this one. He holding me. Come on, we trying to fight. I'm like, this nigga want to knock this motherfucker out. And I'll be like, whoa, okay, that's what I don't, and I do see that with Earl Spence too. I don't see him trying to tie a motherfucker up at all. I don't see, for the most part, Sean Porter trying to tie you up at all. He want to get inside and fight that inside. And they trying to save them fighters, though. Now, I would see Keith Thurman, who be more strategic. He'd get close and he, move his feet and he catch double hooks or, a right hook, boom, boom, and then he'll move. But he's not looking to hold you for the most part sometimes. But sometimes they do. But that motherfucker Terence Crawford, he looking to fight. That fight with Iglaskas, when he with that suspect that was, he maybe got wobbled, got a good punch, he went to his knee, he came up mean as shit. That motherfucker was mad. He was fighting.
It's almost like he tries to give his own self some type of adversity. So he'll like Crawford to do some reckless shit just to lend a problem for himself, just to kind of like make it exciting for himself in a sense. Like it's like he tries to take advantage of every second of those 3 minutes and punishing somebody or getting something out of the fight. Like he a fighter that don't really waste no time in getting to it. You know what I'm saying? Like people say you're a slow starter, but I say he measures for like the first couple rounds. He like measures you, gets you off, and then once he gets off to that pace, his pace don't never slow down. It's like it slowly just ups a tick, and once he get going, he ain't coming off of it.
Facts. And one thing I noticed,
something that I've actually learned too, like from sparring to myself, like you get a feel, like if I'm sparring somebody, you get a feel if somebody is green or if I can just go after this dude right now. I could just smoke him right now if I want to. Like he's fresh meaty food right now. And sometimes you have to get these dudes where you kind of gauge, like they come out, they fast, hella fast. And then when you see like he hella fast, but he always lean to the left. He hella fast, but he always drop his lead hand. So when he do that, I'm gonna do this. Like you start to see little spots where you can start tagging them. And I think to credit to what you're saying, Deuce, is I think once Crawford see that, once he see where he could just go ham, it's over. Once he find that one spot, gone. When you get for the multiple spots,
he exploits your weaknesses, man.
One thing, and the biggest thing, one of the other things I noticed with the fighters who really went, Crawford's not afraid to get hit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference I see with them with a lot of fighters. It was like Crawford get hit too much, you get cut easy with a right hand. Well, if you're a motherfucker looking to go in a fight, you know you're gonna take a lick. You're gonna take a lick sometimes. And Crawford ain't afraid. His confidence is so high. He ain't afraid that he know he's gonna get licked. But he like the mentality is I'm gonna lick you harder. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? You might get a couple off on me, but I'm going to see this motherfucker, see your ass to that motherfucker.
And I really don't even think that's Crawford being defensively inefficient. What I think it is dude is a super fast, superior counterpuncher. And like for real, I really don't even know how fast Terence Crawford is because you really haven't got to see it. Because every time you get to go up, you see him go up against somebody that can match it, he outpaces their speed. You know what I'm saying? And counter responding. So it's almost like I feel like Terence Crawford, like he plays around with it, knowing he quick. So when he engages or whatever, you might see him get caught a couple of times. That's like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? I was a little bit lackadaisical there because I underestimated his speed. Now I'm going to get on it. And then when he counter times your ass, you on the floor asleep. So it's like,
that was
I don't know. I think he just has a lot more breathing room with his technical prowess to take a little bit more, to take a lot more risk than other people have too. We're saying like, oh, Crawford getting hit up. I really think if Crawford wanted to, he could be that fighter that will go out there and just use his high guard, paw your fucking fist, and just block your shit if he wanted to. I've watched him do it, man. He went against Victor Postal. The motherfucker barely could put a fucking hand on him.
That too, yeah. I was about to say that with your example you were saying before you said Victor Postal. That's exactly what came to my mind, and I was like, that nigga, his dimensions, he's just on another level. But I want to see the Virgil Ortiz fights. Everybody say he's ready, then put his ass in there because that would be a great fight for him. You got
give him four.
Mexican
make it up to Sean Porter. That's how I feel because I'm at this point.
I want to see that now. I want to see that now, and I want to see Virgil Ortiz after if that's the case.
They would make a more probably. They would be back and forth. Their fight would be probably more fireworks than him and Spence. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because they both kind of like the same.
Maybe.
Honestly, I don't know if Errol beats Virgil. You know what I'm saying? Like that'd be a good ass fight for real. But yeah, like Virgil and Bud, man, go ahead and make it happen. Niggas keep campaigning for the ass whooping. You might as well go ahead and elect them, man.
Yeah, I think so too. Just
Spence no Virgil. They came from the same camp. Didn't they come from the same trainer a long time ago?
I don't think so.
No, Spence had a Mexican trainer at first.
Oh, Spence?
They know each other. It's a picture of Spence with Virgil when Virgil was a little kid.
Oh, okay.
Little Virgil.
Yeah, he was a little guy. It was too cute, the picture. Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That shit crazy. The same people that looked up to you become the same ones that's gonna whoop your ass.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
they both
I bet
body
it take
technicians, so that will be another war. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Hey, what do y'all think about people talking about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, and we got Anthony Joshua fighting Usyk actually coming up, actually happening, and people still talking about Wilder and Fury, and that shit ain't happening. It's just smoke.
I'm not interested in Wilder or Fury.
Bro,
To
that's
be
like
honest,
that fucking
could
conversation.
care less about them too. That's just me.
That conversation is like condensation on a table after you left your glass there too long.
The
Done
milk
with
is
that
full,
shit.
but I never was interested in them two. I felt like once the undisputed was, I was like, I see where this is going. 2 times it didn't happen. I'm like, nah, I'm not. I'm not. This is the old man say the Hollywood charade. I'm not beef. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Dudes, you know what I'm talking about? Oh boy, the Hollywood charade. Oh God, what's his name? The guy to talk about boxing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The old man.
Burt Sugar?
Teddy,
Oh, sugar.
no, Teddy Allen.
No, Leon Muhammad.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's my guy. That's my guy.
The
Leon.
Hollywood charade.
Is he still
That's
doing
what
videos, man?
I haven't seen him in a few months. He was around, but that's
Bruh,
my.
COVID. I literally was supposed to go meet that man at the Barclays Center in July, and COVID just crushed the nigga whole dreams, man.
Oh wow.
Decent.
Like, oh my God. Like, it's been so, that's why, like, I'm kind of like, I be feeling some type of way because I was ready to do so much stuff for just boxing in a whole, like, as far as like physically being places and stuff. And then COVID happened, it changed up everything. And you know, but anyway, that's another story. But yeah, man, I love that dude, man. His boxing knowledge is fucking just incredible.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
you think that fight gonna be like though with Joshua and Usyk?
I don't
Joshua
know.
knockout.
I got. I'm picking Joshua, but it depends on the game plan. He's I heard he's stripping down, getting slimmer.
Me too. I
So
heard that.
um he has to find. I think with him, he got to find the right weight with the right power. Because just because you're a heavyweight, don't necessarily mean you come in. You have to find that just the heavyweights can weigh at any weight, but they have to
Yeah, they can
find
be
that
as big as
right.
they want to be.
And Boone, you know what I'm talking about, that right fighting weight,
Yeah.
I thought perfect for him
and
is
they got to be
240.
maybe
I've been to that. Yeah,
270,
240.
40 works for him. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
him tailing around 235, 240. He been looking real sharp. You know, I just think if it's going to where if they slimming him down a little bit more, that's basically they just trying to keep him leaned out, keep his endurance high. You know what I'm saying? So he got a high one tank because they know he dealing with a high volume. He gonna deal with a high. There's only one way to look at this fight. Usyk's gonna have to come at it in high volume. Josh, the bigger, stronger, more physically imposing guy, is just gonna have to make sure that he got his one take available to be able to deal with that. Or at the same time, while doing that, Joshua, they probably still got Joshua understanding that, like, yo, you're the bigger guy. Look how he struggled with Derek Chisora. Man, you might not even feel anything, but still be on your P's and Q's, but just knock this motherfucker out. Because honestly, after I've seen what I've seen from Usyk, I just don't think that his body really translates where it needs to be in the heavyweight division. Because if you came out of that thing with Chisora as happy as you were, bro, when it gets up there to that Anthony Joshua level, it gets spooky, bro. Because for real, if, like, I don't know, man, put Povetkin in that same position Chisora was in, who knows how that shit would have ended up.
He rated his performance versus Chisora a 3. So he wasn't what he said. He wasn't happy. But only thing I fear, we can see the game plan for Usyk. It's going to be wait till the 6 rounds survive to the 6th, and then like you said, his output is going to for Joshua to slow down, and he's going to speed up. So if he gets to the 6th round, it's going to be kind of interesting if Joshua can't get.
Man, that's my thing. I wouldn't, if I'm Joshua, I'm not even letting him get there. I just don't see it. Like, Derek Chisora ain't the biggest puncher in 12, and I'm not like arguing this point to y'all or nothing like that. I'm just speaking just in general. Derek Chisora ain't the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division, man, and he was running from that man. He was doing everything to stay away from that man. Like, you could tell he was scared. Like, I don't care what people think about Usyk. Like, yo, your body can't, you just can't you can't get bigger, bro. You can put muscle on it or whatever, but you're not a natural heavyweight. And them dudes are. And he's shown, like, yo, it took you 7 rounds to soften up Chaz Witherspoon. Chisora, you went 12 and you was happy as hell just to make it out of it. So my thing is, I just think, yo, it ain't going to take Anthony Joshua 6 rounds to catch him, man. I don't know, man. And Usyk don't got the whole fight.
What you say? Go ahead. What you say?
I think Usyk gonna be on the back foot the whole fight.
I think it's going to be Usyk, the type of fighter he is. He doesn't. He's a controlled fighter. He's a lot like Rigondeaux, and like how when your boy Big Boy the Lurch when Chisora and old boy Big Boy from the Brit too that Big Joe when they bum rush a fighter, they don't like to get bum rushed, and they don't react well when they're bum rushed. You know what I mean? Because they like controlling their distance. They like being in control. And so what you saw in my opinion, when we saw when Chisora did Usyk, is the same thing that Casemiro was doing to Rigondeaux's reaction to with Casemiro. Because when you watch, Casemiro can be kind of wild. When I watch this fight, like he comes in wild and throwing a whole bunch of punches. And in my opinion, Rigondeaux was moving too much to make him slow down for coming in wild and stay more in front of him and more fight control to his fight to try to slow him down. And so that's what the same way his Rigondeaux's reaction I believe we saw when Usyk was fighting against Chisora. They reacted the same way. So they would stay in the way, like, wait till this motherfucker slow down because I don't like to fight like this. And so, you know what I mean? I'll wait till this nigga slow down, then I'm going to go ahead and settle down into my game, whatever. But I'm going to stay away from this motherfucker while he's doing this wild shit because they probably don't react to that type of pressure well. And so, and I think that's, in my opinion, what happened because once he did, Chisora did slow down. Usyk was putting the motherfucking hands on him a lot more. And so, and same with Rigondeaux. When I saw that, I was like, those fights correlated a lot with each other, connecting them in the styles and how some fighters don't react well in certain situations. And so the
only difference with that is, Myron, is Chisora is just a naturally smaller fighter, so he's got to come to him. Anthony Joshua, if Usyk goes on the back foot in that fight, they're basically going to be at a stalemate.
Right.
Anthony Joshua ain't gonna have to do shit. You know, Usyk gonna have to give up ground to come to him. That's the only. So he gonna be having to walk into his jab or whatever. So Usyk gonna have to be willing to come into engage and come into his wheelhouse where Derek Chisora would have to, you know, to work more at it, and of course, being a bigger guy, be more imposing. You know, he's gonna have to do more than just be on his back foot in this fight. That's why I feel like he gonna walk into that smack. Oh shit. This would it feel like to get hit by a nigga that hits like this.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
think he's gonna try to tire Joshua out. I think that's gonna be one of his game plans, trying to bring him into deep waters, tire him out, and beat him that way.
Mm-hmm.
But he got to deal with Joshua punching on him at the same time. Like, you ain't finna just not get touched by Joshua for not even 12, but like for the first 4 rounds, he's gonna touch you at least once or twice.
This should be the fight where Joshua really works the body. Like, really works the body.
Yeah. Fact.
Yeah, he do put in like left hooks to the body.
And if he find his right hand on him, because the equalizer to the southpaw is the right hand. If he find his right hand on him, it's gonna be bad.
And you know what? Hey, again, with my going in the archives, you know, back in the day, the old people were saying the equalizer to the southpaw was the left hook too. You know what I mean? So I was like, wow. So I was like, and a lot of, one commentator guy, a boxing guy was like, for left hooks, so for a southpaw, the left hook, it's hard for the, it's their counter because they're throwing a right. And so if you slip their right, you come around with the left hook, you catch them quite often. So I was like, well, yeah. And I would start thinking, well, back in the day, it would be a left hook as well as a right because those fighters seemed to be a lot more skilled back then with their slipping, their bobbing, weaving. They were slipping, punching, and countering so much more faster than today. But now today, you have to say it's only the right hand because it seemed like fighters, the level of, ability and skill has took a notch down. But I was like, so I was like, okay. I see what they say. It could be a left hook because it is the right. We all know that. But I could say the guy was like a left hook is, could be a kryptonite to southpaws too. I was like, well, any punch could be a kryptonite to a motherfucker if you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I just think I would like to see how that Joshua and Usyk fight for sure. It's gonna be interesting. When is the date for the fight again?
What is it? The 5th?
September something. I'm not sure.
That's not far away. Okay, so we can talk about
Find out.
Yeah.
25th, the 5th, something, I don't know.
Let's find out.
So that's gonna be, I think I'm gonna come back doing some videos for that fight. Start talking about that.
Yeah, it should be an interesting matchup. Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely gonna
Like,
be.
my thing is this, man. I just hope. Oh, yeah, the 25th. So my thing is this, man. If Anthony Joshua knocks this dude out, man, I don't want to hear no shit about Alexander Usyk shouldn't have been campaigning up there like he ain't already had 2 fights at heavyweight. I don't want to hear like Anthony Joshua, man. Get that man full credit for the consistent top tier opposition, one after another, always willing to fight all of his mandatories, not willing to let no belts go, not making up no excuses, trying to throw belts in the trash, you know what I'm saying, while another motherfucker holds a Ring Magazine trophy that don't deserve it, Ring Magazine title that don't deserve it. I'm just saying, no excuses, man. Give the dude his credit, rightfully so. He should be at the top of the heavyweight list, and I mean, just give credit where credit is due, man, because I don't think at this point, there's not too many people left that Anthony Joshua could beat up. There's no points that he could prove other than fans putting more pressure on the other dude to make the fight happen. Like, I don't know what else Anthony Joshua could do at this point.
It's already people saying that if Anthony Joshua wins the fight,
That's ridiculous.
If he wins the fight.
That's ridiculous.
If he wins the fight on points, Usyk will be robbed. That's already a narrative. I don't already saw.
Really? Usyk would get robbed? Pushing that.
I just saw it. I don't know what channel.
Or like, everybody got this belief that Usyk is just a superior boxer or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But Usyk is Usyk ain't even really that great defensively. He's just got a high volume offense. Like, the dude is defensively irresponsible as shit. So I'm just saying, we just gonna see what's gonna happen on the 25th. But all in all, both men deserve full fucking credit. And I just feel like Anthony Joshua should get all the credit that he deserves. But I'm just sure him and Terence Crawford and all of these other individuals suffer from that same thing, to where it's just like, we exist in the world of, contradictions and monster hypocrites when it comes to anything that comes to these two individuals. So who knows, man? But I gotta get ready to get out of here, y'all.
Yeah, I was just finna end too. My daughter, I gotta go help my daughter real quick. So go ahead, Deuce, take us up out of here.
Hey, man, appreciate everybody for coming through. As always, show much love to the queen, Lisa Bales. Shout out my brother, Blue Nuts, a.k.a. Nuts United. Shout out to, DT3, the Boom Man, a.k.a. the chairman of the board. As always, man, as we always say at the end of this shit, it costs you nothing. Pay a nigga no mind. This is Reaper Gang Duce, MBBC. Respect. Have a good night.